Nobbel apparently did a reaction to this. Where is Nobbel? I'll just look him up. Oh, it's the second one. Okay. This is a 22-minute video. I don't know if we want to watch the whole thing, but we can watch at least a little bit of it. I'm just gonna cut through. I'm gonna cut through, like, just him watching it over and over again.
What's there to say?
Okay.
And there it is.
And there it is.
And there it is.
And there it is.
What's there to say? It's not an accident. It's not a third party. It's just the Banshee Queen.
Okay.
The enemy of life. I wonder what the forums will say now. Because quite a few posts still defended the Horde.
Yeah, fuck the
They
Horde,
said,
dude.
you know, this is what the Alliance did. They were the ones who dared to attack goblins to Sylvanas, even though Sylvanas was the one sending out goblins to Sylvanas to mine azurite. A very powerful weapon. Not to mention that even before that moment, in Before the Storm, the Horde attacked an Alliance expedition. Not to mention that the moment we come back from Argus, Sylvanas is planning a war on Stormwind. So how are you going to explain this one? The three-headed coming? The three-headed coming and was just standing there and shit, being a symbol of hope and life. Our war chief had to snuff it out. Can't you see? Well, of course, wait, it's not Sylvanas' fault, it's Ars's fault.
It's always a man's fault. See?
Oh,
no responsibility. Boy. It's always a man's fault.
Boy, oh boy.
Think about that, dude.
Let's get some music.
Just get memorized that. Yo, congrats.
also, now that I remember, the reason I was laughing, right? Like for the episode itself, I enjoy the art style. I mean, it's not a song, but you know, I could deal with that. What I enjoyed most was this moment. Sylvanas is on the battlefield. She's shooting and fighting. And what does she do? She does like a guitar slide across stage right into Arms' sword. It's like whoopsie daisy. Sorry. I know, it's not supposed to be literal, but it's just fucking funny.
It's a tactical error.
Ha! Oh shit, you were there. Yoink! And then this Banshee moment, I think the sound effect is wrong. This. Is she a tiger?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, she's a tiger.
She's a tiger.
Oh, come on, I just wanted to pause it on the right spot. Come here.
It always does this.
There we go. I mean,
Okay.
I like the imagery, though. I like the imagery. Cat form. Uh-oh.
Okay.
What has happened, man? Where did it go wrong?
Where did it go wrong?
Alright.
So it seems like he's not a fan.
So now we know. Now we know who burns down the tree.
Sylvanas.
And interestingly enough, I asked yesterday on Twitter. Like, would it matter to you if it burns or not? And it was actually very 50-50. We got like 3,000 votes in there, and it was very 50-50. And for myself, I was like, no, it won't matter. regardless what happens, it's the Horde that invades to begin with. Regardless if it's a third party or an accident, it's them that causes these moments to happen. It's them that's going to burn it. But then Theron did like a quote about Jaina, and it got me wondering about what if it was Jaina? Like, would that matter? And it would definitely matter if it was somebody like Jaina that did burning. So I actually changed my mind while waiting for the vote. It was kind of cool.
She just ruins everything.
But yeah, we have our answer, everybody. Sylvanas is the enemy of life. The Windrunner that we once knew is gone. Everything we've heard before, Anduin giving hope, Anduin giving up hope. Yeah, like what is there to say?
Okay.
Really, what is there to say? I mean, this is it now. And honestly, I mentioned this during last week, the pre-event as well. And let me first say, first and foremost, people that are going after Blizz developers personally and that are attacking them on Twitter and whatnot, you're absolute shitheads. I don't agree with the story direction that we're taking right now. I think this is one of the most disappointing moments in lore that I've experienced so far. But there is no reason in the world to go after developers.
Imagine getting mad at a dev because of a story decision.
And sure enough, it might not be the same
about
vision,
a fake tree.
Right? So with that little disclaimer out of the way, let me go ham on this one.
A fake tree.
Yeah, like I said, this is... I've been disappointed with the ending of Wars Draenor. I've been disappointed with Robot Chicken and Mr. Pandaria. I've been disappointed with the Twisted Nether transcending all realities, but this moment is extremely disappointing in my eyes. Mainly because there is no... At least from what we see right now. Unless they do a retcon afterwards. Think, for example, the Broken Shore is a good example. The Broken Shore, we saw the moments happen, and then later down the line, during the Rogue Order Hall, we found out a little bit more.
It's not real.
They could always do that, right? They could always go back and say, like, oh yeah, it's all God influence, or oh yeah, she has different motivations. But I feel that's very poor storytelling. This is what we're getting, which is basically everybody saying Sylvanas is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Which by extension means the Horde is the bad guy. We still have not gotten an explanation as to what the Horde believes about her plans. Even on the beta, we see them just following her lead, following her command. How is it possible that she still has members of the Horde standing next to her during the Siege of Lordaeron? How is that even possible? What happened there? We don't really have an explanation for that. We don't really have an explanation as to why the Order Halls come back from Argus, turn around and say we're fighting again.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like there should be more explanation there. But at the same time, even if you do believe that this campaign is great, that the Horde doesn't need a reason to attack, that splitting the continent by factions is a great motivation, I would argue, first of all, Sylvanas' motivation is to stay alive.
You guys can
like it. Someone like Anduin Win in charge is the best time ever to get a peace going between the Alliance and the Horde. If you truly want to stay alive, then you sit down with the Boy King, you negotiate. But even if you disregard that and you still go for the conquest, then I'm like, this is one dumbass conquest, though. The motivation given that Anduin is weaponizing stuff. Even though we can see that Sylvanas is the one weaponizing stuff, it's a very weak motivation. It makes the war chief fear Anduin. You have a war chief that fears Anduin. They don't say alliance. They specifically name Anduin.
Why?
It sucks. And then you go through the campaign and you little things here and there, like saying that the Furbolgs will thank us once we slaughtered them. Saying that the Night Elves won't get a good night rest, even though...
Yo, fuck the Furbolgs.
They're Night Elves.
Why are they...
Take care of the Sentinel Owls in the trees, even though the very next questline explains that Malfurion does not need Sentinel Owls in the trees because he can literally communicate with the nature itself. But those are little things. What about the big thing? If it hasn't changed if it hasn't changed from the PTR, then what about the big things like going after Malfurion, having him dead on the floor? One single arrow will do the trick. And she walks away, and she lets Sourfang take care of it. Dumb as hell.
That was stupid.
Dumb as hell. It's a
That was
dumbass
dumb.
campaign. And
That
on the
was
Alliance
dumb.
side, it's
Yes.
not much better. Because once again, the Alliance is on the defense. Once again, they have to respond to the Horde aggression. How much more cooler would it have been if someone like Greymane found Azerite, went back to the Boy King and was like, look, Anduin, in the palm of my hand, we have the power to wipe out the Horde that murdered your father, that murdered my son. Let's do it. And Anduin, of course, Anduin was going to be like, no, we're not going to do this. But Anduin is no longer the prince. Anduin is a high king. He leads the Alliance. How much more fun would it have been if he actually faltered in that role, rather than being the perfect child that he always is? And everybody just lines up behind him. He tries to make peace between the Forsaken and the humans, for Christ's sake. How much more fun would it have been if the Alliance was the aggressor and the Horde was on defense? But that's not what we get. And then during the campaign itself, we literally have Night Elves on the battlefield saying, oh, I don't want to kill you, but I will if you make me. You're a Night Elf! Stop! Oh! And Tyrande picks up her beloved and tells the hero, you know what? We're not going to fight till the last man standing. Just make sure that the occupation of Teldrassil, that it's as comfortable as possible for our people. Let's make sure that that happens.
That's true.
And then Sylvanas turns them into marshmallows. And the problem in comparison to stuff like the ending of Warlords, like stuff when it comes to the robot cap, is that it was near the end of an expansion. This right here is what the faction war is built upon. Because at the ending of Before the Storm, it literally says, there will be no war today. And this is what the conflict is going to be about. And that's why this moment is so extremely disappointing to me. Like, how do you explain Tauren druids going after their freaking Shan'do?
Here's how you explain it.
Why is there no explanation for
holes.
that?
You don't need, because then that makes things more complicated. Why have an explanation if you can just do whatever the fuck you want?
And every single time we get more and more pieces of information about the lore.
You just do whatever.
We get the idea of maybe next time, maybe this will give the answer, maybe Before the Storm's gonna give the answer, maybe the next patch is gonna give the answer. But this just seems to be the story direction. She is the enemy of life.
Wow, that sounds like the Lich King. Wow. That's a nice thing Rich just said. I mean, I'm just saying.
What if Blizzard deliberately make her look crazy just to hide something? What if?
Then that would be bad storytelling because you can't tell.
Like, retrospectively, they can add anything they want.
It's like Scooby-Doo.
They can do outside manipulation, corruption, scheming. But even if they do, that is one poor way of telling a storyline.
Yeah.
Especially when it's so on the nose.
No, all the odds did it. All right. Sure.
I blame that one demon that killed Vol'jin. Blame the spirits that appointed her war chief.
What could go wrong?
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to figure out how in the world the Horde stands with Sylvanas.
Plot devices.
What is their motivation? How do you pull in someone like Bane that literally has contact with Anduin and is told to shut it down? Or well, we know what happens with Sourfang. Why does Eitrigg say that the Alliance is...
You just don't talk about it.
Oh god, what was the word? Oppressor?
You don't talk about it. It's easy.
What happened?
You just don't talk about it. Just don't say anything.
And Sylvanas is the bad guy. I'm still holding out hope that Sylvanas is gonna be not so much a Garrosh 2.0, rather a Grommash 2.0. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. As in Grommash 2.0, as in quite literally starting a fire. If you might remember Grommash drinking that delicious demon blood in Warcraft 3. which then in turn led to him slaying Manoroth and being hailed as a hero. That's what I'm hoping with Sylvanas.
That's what I think will happen.
Where do we go from here, everybody? Gromash 2.0 is Gromash 2.0 because we have Warlords of Draenor. Ah, yeah. Do you think we'll see something that may change our minds in the Azara Warbringer? Well, that's what I'm saying. They can literally do anything retrospectively, but that's poor storytelling.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that the Collector's Edition storylines have not been released yet. Because I was working on the story of War of Thorns, which is going to be released in a couple of days in collaboration with Wowhead. And I was trying to place when exactly
Where
those
are our fucking mods?
storylines
Time
take
these
place.
people out.
And it seems to be week 1.
You don't have to ban them, just time them out.
So, yeah, I actually wonder about that. And of course, let me explain the storytelling on stream this time around.
I feel like she's a lot hotter as undead.
It's a retelling on how Sylvanas became the Banshee Queen, with the minor addition of doing a guitar solo. And, yeah, the moment that she became a Banshee, she fell under Ars's control. Eventually she was able to break herself free, reclaim her body, and she went out for vengeance upon Arthas. But she got her vengeance at the end of Wrath of the Lich King, and then they had to figure out something to do with Sylvanas. So they decided that the Dark Lady was going to kill herself. She dropped herself from the top of Icecrown after seeing Bolvar there.
No, this is the Valkyr thing.
She landed on Serenite, which is the blood of an old god, and when she did, she ended up in hell. Side note, we actually have a project that Kalis has been working on for months, in which we're going to tell that storyline. We're going to tell that short story with voice acting, with animation. And oh boy, cool. Is Kalis bringing out everything. But that's, it should be done soon, cool. TM. Anyways, she lands on the Serenite, she ends up in hell, and she makes the bargain with the Valkyr. The Valkyr will take her place in hell, and in turn, they will be released from Bolvar's control. A lot of speculation can happen there. Like, did the old god Yaksharon manipulate her, perhaps? What exactly do the Valkyr get out of it? But either way, that's what happens, and that's also why she's come back a couple of times. That's why she can res her own Forsaken now, even though she says with free will. And that's why she went after Aeir and Stormheim, to get the power of the Valkyr, to create more Valkyr. Basically, a 100 1-ups from Mario and create more troops. That was prevented by Greymane. And now we see her lead the war into Darkshore. For reasons.
She's not happy.
Like, even if you want to stay alive, why would you start a war?
Wow, that's a
especially when you are up against a character like Enduin that you describe as prey. And I can definitely understand that the events of Stormheim showed her like, oh shit, some amongst the Alliance definitely want me dead.
Oh no!
But then again, she also saw that Enduin got his people together to get a Forsaken Human reunion going. So if you know that, and if you have Bane that has a line of communication with Enduin, what's stopping you from at least trying? Not only is it a shitty warfare,
you gotta sell another
expansion.
Reasoning. I mean, come on.
What is the deal with Helya? I never explained fancy names. I imagine it's a storyline that they were planning to do in Legion. If you go to her website, you can actually see a description for Sylvanas, in which she was meant to make a choice between her people or eternal damnation, but that storyline never made it in.
No.
Maybe Sylvanas made a deal with the old gods for power, but in return she has to burn the world trees. Yeah, but no, because she wasn't planning to burn the world tree.
More things that happen off screen.
Like,
they're then explained later on. Of course. That's perfect.
You've lost hope. You've lost everything you once was. Oh yeah? Well, let me burn down your home. See what you're mourning now, bitch.
Oh, that's it. That's the end of it. Okay. So, I don't know, man. Like, I share his frustration to an extent, right? I mean, I do. Let me see what is here on Reddit. What do people have to say about it on Reddit? This will be probably the last place that I look at. Google Jaina Lich Queen. Okay, relax, bro. Let's see. So, people don't like it. That's an example of people not liking it. Let's see, Warbringers. This is... It has 5,000 comments? Holy fuck. That's a lot. Wow. Oh, this is perfect. Let's see who the war chief really is. Surprise, it's Garrosh. That's perfect, man. Okay.